welcome to Mayhem. Welcome to my very first recipe video. Excuse the dogs going crazy in the background. Just another reason why it's Mayhem. Today what I'm going to do is show you how to make my jalapeno poppers, which actually not my recipe. It's a recipe I got from my BFF, Linda. And she shared it with me, and it's really one of my most requested recipes. So with New Year's Eve coming up and New Year's, I figured I'd share it today, and then everybody would know how to make it. I don't usually do this on the stove, but because I'm recording today, I tried to just get a setup where you could see everything in the same place. So as you can see, I've already started by cleaning some of my jalapenos just to save time. Typically, you want 12, 13 jalapenos, good medium size. I've got 3 right here. This is about the size you need. Some of them are a little bit fatter. The one in the center's fatter than a couple smaller ones, but that's about the size you need. You're going to need 12, 13. Sometimes I get 14 just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to show you my handy dandy tool that I use to clean these out. If you don't have one, it's okay. Alright, so here is the tool that will make your life so much easier if you choose to make jalapeno poppers. It's a jalapeno corer, and I actually found one on Amazon. I actually got this at the Lodge store, but I found some on Amazon, so I'm going to share the link for that in the comment section under the video. So for this recipe, it's a very simple recipe. You need 4 ingredients. You need 12 to 14 medium-sized jalapenos. You need whatever sausage you like. I usually use just the Jimmy Dean regular. I was using the Jimmy Dean Country Mild. Hubby said he liked the regular the best. You're going to need an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. And you're going to need 1 cup of the Parmesan that's in the jar. Not shredded Parmesan, but the grated Parmesan in the jar. That's 1 cup. So I'm going to show you how to clean out these jalapenos real quick. So here's the fattest one. You're going to cut the top off. And you're left with that. And really, you need to be wearing gloves when you're doing this. I have a hard time operating things with gloves on, and I sure don't want to be operating this knife. So if you're going to do this and not using your gloves, please, please, please don't touch your face until you've washed your hands. Don't touch anything until you've washed your hands, because you're going to get this jalapeno oil, juice, whatever you call it, on your hands, and it's going to be bad. If you touch your face, it's going to burn. So please, please, please make sure you wash your hands before you touch. I always use Dawn because it seems like it gets it off. Now, there has been times that I've touched my face the next day, touched my eye, had something in my eye, touched my eye, still burnt. So please, please, please be vigilant in washing your hands. Alright, so once you get the top cut off, you're going to take your corer, and if you notice, it's the perfect size that's going to go down inside the jalapeno. So you're just going to put it in there, and you're going to twist as you push forward. And I hope you can see that. You're going to twist as you push forward. You want to do it easy. It's very sharp. Until you can tell when you get basically down to the bottom of the jalapeno. Okay? You want to be careful to go straight so that you don't bust through the sides. If you do bust through the sides, it's okay. It's still usable. You don't have to throw it away. So when you pull the core out, sometimes it'll pull the center out with it. It might not. It might leave it in there, and that's okay. So then you're just going to take your knife and you're going to cut straight down through the middle of the jalapeno. And now you've got this. But this is already cut loose from the jalapeno. So basically all you're going to do is just take your knife and very carefully cut the membrane from the bottom of the jalapeno, and then that will just lift right out. Couple seeds in there, but we'll wash those away. If you have any light remaining in there, which I really don't, you can cut that out with your knife. So same thing. All that's loose from that core, so all I have to do is come in here with my knife and scoop out the light membrane. That's where the heat of the jalapeno is, and if you don't like any heat, you definitely want that out of your jalapenos. If you like a little heat, you can leave some in. You don't want to leave the seeds in, but if you like heat, you might want to leave the seeds in. So here's the next one. It's a little thinner, but it still should be a good size to use that core on. So again, the core is going to fit right into the center of the jalapeno, and you're just going to turn it as you gently push forward, and it's going to do most of the work for you, and you can tell when you're getting down in there. Once you get it down in there, as far as you feel like you need to go, you're going to pull out. Again, it didn't pull it out, but that's okay. You're going to cut your jalapeno down the middle. That's already loose. You're just going to take your knife and kind of scoop out the bottom, and you've got a clean jalapeno. I'm going to do this one again. Whoops. Now on that one, it left a little bit of the light. You can see the light green down here. That's still part of the membrane. You want to take your knife and scoop that out. And be careful. And so you've got that. And again, those seeds will just wash away. I'm going to pretend that this one's too thin, that I can't use that core for it. And I'm just going to do it with my knife. So you cut the top off, you cut down the center, you've got this. Now you're just going to take your knife and run it along the edge, the outside edge of that light membrane, and then you're going to scoop it out. Just use your knife and scoop it out. Scoop it out from the top, flip it over, scoop it out from the bottom. Clean. So you don't have to have one of the cores, okay? So you're going to down beside it on that edge. You're going to down beside it on this edge. And then you're going to scoop it out. And then you're going to scoop it out from the bottom. And be careful doing this. It takes a little bit of getting used to. And there you've got it. Now you're going to rinse these out. Let me step over to the sink and rinse this all off, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now we've got them all. Let's see, I can't remember, I counted, but I don't know, there was 13 or 14 there. That's usually about the right amount for the amount of filling. So what you're going to do next, you're going to brown your pound of sausage. Let me move this back here. And we'll just get this sausage going. you want to use your spoon or your spatula or whatever it is that you're using to stir with, you want to break it up. You want it to be fine. You don't want big chunky pieces to go inside your jalapeno. Just going to brown it off just like you would if you were making a breakfast casserole or if you were browning hamburger, something like that. So you're just going to chunk it up and brown it off. Actually, this is going to take a while. I think I'm going to just pause the video until the sausage gets done. Alright, so we've got the sausage all browned up. And I tried to get a little brown on mine. I just don't want it gray. Whoopsie. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do is add the cream cheese and the Parmesan cheese. Now, typically you want to let this cream cheese sit out just a little bit and let it get soft. But if you don't have time to do that, whoops. Usually what I do, which mine's been sitting out probably 20-30 minutes, so it's probably soft enough already. But if you don't have time for it to sit out or you forget to take it out ahead of time, if you'll just plop the whole thing right on top of your pan of sausage, and I've got my heat turned off on my pan right now. You can just plop that on there and let it sit there for a few minutes. It's going to get soft enough for you to then mix it in. And honestly, I usually move this pan off of the heat. So it doesn't continue to cook. I hope you can still see that. So it doesn't continue to cook. Just let it sit on there for a few minutes. It'll soften. Like I said, this has been out 20-30 minutes. So it's really soft enough. So basically, I just start, using the back of my spoon to kind of mush that around and stir it in. Once it starts to mix in, then I add my Parmesan. And I don't drain the sausage. There's not that much fat in there to even worry about draining it. I guess if you feel the need to, you can, but I never have. Honestly, to me, it helps the peppers when they're cooking. So I'm just gonna, I had already measured out my 1 cup of cheese, just because we've got a gigantic container of cheese and I didn't want you guys to have to sit through all that. So you just want to make sure that you mix it up good. You want to incorporate all of the cream cheese and all the Parmesan. You want to make sure that the sausage is coated, and I don't know why, but I usually just take the back of my spoon and kind of mash and press and mash and press, and it seems like that helps it get everything all mixed in. It might be me, I don't know, but that's what works for me. I am using my 12-inch Lodge cast iron pan. That's usually what I make these in. You can use any pan you have, any pan you want, but you want a fairly good sized skillet to do this in. Alright, so once you've got everything good and mixed together there, you're just going to start filling your jalapenos. So you're just going to take it. This is like my tablespoon, you know, serving spoon. You're just going to take a good spoonful and you're just going to lay it in your pepper and you're going to mash it down to where it fills the pepper. Okay? You want it to be rounded over just a little bit, but you don't want to put too much in there because you got to fill all of these. Once you get them filled, if you have left over, you can go back and add 2. And even though this filling just got cooked, it's not hot to the touch. I mean, to me it's not. If you've got sensitive hands, it might be. Honestly, I love these, and there was a time when I was making them almost every weekend during football season because I just loved them. And I'll be honest, I don't like jalapenos. I don't eat jalapenos on anything. I don't get anything jalapeno flavored. If I order something out at a restaurant somewhere, I make sure that I get no jalapeno. I just don't eat them. And when Linda first made these, the very first time she made them, she's like, Joe, you just have to try it. You just have to try it. I'm telling you, it's not hot. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, you just need to try it. And I did, and oh my goodness, I was hooked. I remember the very first time she made them, and I helped her, and she was showing me how to do it and everything, and we were at her house in Indiana in the summer. And when they got done, well, actually I helped her, and then I went out with the guys who were in the pool. And so when they got done, she came out there with the tray of jalapeno poppers, and we were in the pool having a swim and a refreshing beverage and just munching on the jalapeno poppers. I never in my life would have thought that I would have eaten this many jalapenos already in my life. These things are so good, y'all. I mean, if you've never had them, you do not know what you're missing. And honestly, the hardest part about this whole thing is cleaning the jalapenos out. My husband did find at one of our local grocery stores, it's been a while back now, but one of our local grocery stores had jalapenos that had already been cleaned out. They were packaged in the produce section, and he came home and he was like, look what I found. These are already cleaned out for you. That made my life so much easier the next time I made those poppers. I will say that you can, if you're looking for a healthier alternative or a lower fat alternative, you can use the lesser fat cream cheese. You don't want to use fat-free cream cheese. We were Weight Watchering, or maybe it was when we were, anyway, we were watching what we were eating. And so I used the fat-free cream cheese, and it was very dry. And honestly, I think I may have used turkey sausage in that bunch as well. It was way too dry. So I wouldn't go fat-free cream cheese on these. I would just go the, what is it, a third less fat. So yeah, that's doable. I know New Year's is coming and people are going to be, you know, trying to cut back and eat better and everything. So you can cut back on these a little, but I wouldn't go totally fat-free on these. I've done double and triple recipes of these. My husband's guys at work absolutely love them. They think they're the greatest thing, and every time they have a potluck, they're like, you bringing poppers? You bringing poppers? And I don't mind. It's just a little labor intensive when you're cleaning 2 dozen jalapenos, and you know, a lot of times when I'm making them for him to take to stuff, I'm like, oh, I can eat some poppers too. So then I end up making a triple load, a triple batch. And so thank goodness for that jalapeno core. That we actually bought that at the Lodge store, and it came with like a jalapeno tray, I guess you'd call it, that had holes to put the jalapenos down in, like the whole jalapenos, to cook on your grill. I didn't even realize it had that core in there. And I'd been making these like crazy non-stop for a little while, and my daughter was like, Mom, didn't you get a jalapeno set at the Lodge store? And I said, yeah, but it just had the tray to cook them on the grill. And she's like, no, Mom, I think it had a core on there. You might need to get that out and look at it, because we hadn't used it yet, and it had been a while, but we just hadn't used it. So I open it, yeah, jalapeno core in there, and I was like, oh my gosh. The first time I used it, I was like, where have you been all my life? I needed that so bad. So it does expedite cleaning them out, but like I said, you don't have to have one. And somebody told me that you could take a spoon and just kind of scrape, like if you don't have a core, you could take a spoon and just scrape the jalapeno, and it would get all the stuff out, clean the seeds and the membrane out. To me, that seems like it's just gonna spray the jalapeno juice or oil, whatever you call it, everywhere, and I'm not a fan of that. So I'd rather just use my knife like I've been doing. I don't want to spray that stuff everywhere. Get that stuff in your eye, that would be bad. Or you wouldn't know where it was going and touch it the next day or 2 days later or something. Get it in your eye again. Yeah, not a fan of that. Alright, so here's my last pepper. And I always feel the need to use my hand and kind of fill everything in. And it, like I said, it's not hot. There's what I had left in my pan. And I've got 2, so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So I had 14 peppers, medium-sized peppers. So I'm just going to take some of this off here and just add it to a couple of them. But you see what I mean? It comes out pretty good. So when I say 12 to 14 medium size, that's, and they're full, and they're rounded over just a little bit. So we're done with that. Let me wash my hands. I'll be right back. Again, don't forget, you want to use the best dish liquid you have. I always use Dawn. It just seems like, you know, if that's jalapeno oil, seems to me like it's going to get it off the best. Anyway, so we've got them on our sheet pan. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. We're going to cook them at 400 degrees for 20 to 22 minutes. Originally it was 20 minutes, but sometimes they don't get as brown as I like them to be at 20 minutes. So I set it for 20 minutes, and then I check them. And if they're not as brown and toasty on the top as I want, then I add 2 more minutes. And usually they come out brown the way I like them. So I'm going to pop these in the preheated oven at 400. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes, check them, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I checked them at 20 minutes. They weren't quite brown enough for me, so I added 2 more minutes, and I think they'll be good now. Let's take them out and see. Alright, so there you go. There's the jalapeno poppers. I'm gonna get one off here and put it on this plate. Let it cool for just a minute while I recap. So, you want 12 to 14 medium-sized jalapenos. You're gonna core them, take all the seeds out, take all the membrane out. You want 1 pound of any kind of sausage of your choice. You're gonna brown that up. You want to make it small bits. You don't want it real chunky. You need 1 8-ounce pack of cream cheese. You can use the less fat cream cheese, but I don't recommend the no fat cream cheese. And then you want 1 cup of the grated parmesan that comes in the jar. You're going to cook them at 400 degrees in the oven, 20 to 22 minutes, but depending on your oven, that could change. You know more about your oven than me, so you'll just have to base it on that. But you want to get a good brown on the top of them. Honestly, some of these are more brown than the others. I might have went another minute on those, but they look good to me. So, I'm going to cut this up and take a bite. Hopefully I won't burn my mouth. They've been out for just a few seconds, but oh my gosh, can y'all see that? It is so good, and it's going to be good with all of your New Year's stuff. And honestly, these are good for parties and get-togethers and potlucks, whatever you want to do. But I heat them up and eat them for breakfast too. Very tasty. You get the creaminess from the cream cheese. You got the sausage in there. The jalapeno is not hot. I'm telling you, if you have a fear of eating a jalapeno, don't if you do it this way. It's not spicy. So try this out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be posting some more cooking videos, some more recipes, some craft things. Thank you for watching my first video on Mayhem Bling, and I will continue posting videos. I'm going to put the written recipe in the comments on this video. I'm also going to link the jalapeno core and the cast iron skillet in there if you want to go to Amazon and buy either one of those things. Like I said, you don't have to have those things to make these. Just makes it a little easier. It's just what I used. Alright, y'all have a happy new year, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching.